So what are the various scenarios as they stand right now? Let's give you a sense of 5 scenarios that we've narrowed it down to. Number 1, run government from jail. So that could be a likely scenario that, of course, can take place. LG nod, though, is needed, but no provision in the jail manual. So if the LG allows for it, it's possible, but there's no such provision within the jail manual. Now, this is what we understand. Number 2, scenario 2, nominate a minister as the acting chief minister. That's possible, but again, not from president and LG, as is needed in this case as well. Number 3, Kejriwal quits, names the new chief minister. Highly unlikely, because as you just heard Atishi, they're brazening it out. They're saying that there will be no change in the chief minister of Delhi. So that is scenario number 3. Scenario number 4, Delhi government dismissed by the lieutenant governor. Now, AAP will play victim then in the Lok Sabha polls. That's quite likely to happen if that is the decision of the lieutenant governor. Number 5, the scenario that we're looking at, current mechanism to continue. Current scenario, that's likely. The CM has no portfolio and budget has already been passed. So it could be so that there could be others who could take care of the functioning of government, Atishi and Saurabh Bhardwaj included, because the chief minister currently doesn't specifically have any portfolio as such. Now, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who in a few years became one of the most prominent leaders across India, has been sent to the Tihar jail. Our next report decodes the journey of Kejriwal from being the face of the anti-corruption movement to an alleged scam accused.
This is the house where Arvind Kejriwal was born in a middle-class family in Bhiwani district of Haryana on the 16th of August 1968. His father was an electrical engineer, and his work led to many changes in the family's residence. Kejriwal spent most of his childhood in North Indian towns such as Sonipat, Ghaziabad and Hisar. This is the colony where Kejriwal spent more than a decade of his crucial formative years preparing for his academics.
कभी कोई हमें पढ़ाई में कोई दिक्कत आती थी, कोई सम सॉल्व नहीं होता था, तो उनसे भैया से हम हेल्प लेते थे।
एक तो ये बच्चा बहुत शुरू से गंभीर था और पढ़ाई में ज़्यादा ध्यान रहता था।
जिस तरह से वो सिंसियरिटी के साथ में, डेडिकेशन के साथ में कॉलेज में अपना पढ़ाई करते थे, उससे लगता था कि एक दिन ये विद्यार्थी जो है निश्चित रूप से अपना भी अपने परिवार का नाम रोशन करेगा।
He was one of the brightest students. Civics was one of his best and most favorite subject. I still remember he had so deep knowledge about this subject.
After Kejriwal completed his studies in mechanical engineering from IIT Kharagpur, Tata Steel hired him in 1989 to work as a mechanical engineer in Jamshedpur. For the 3 years that he worked there, he wanted to be part of the social welfare department of Tata Steel, but he was not allowed. Kejriwal resigned from Tata Steel in 1992 and decided to prepare for IAS exams. In 1995, he cleared the civil service exams to join public service. As an Indian Revenue Service officer, Kejriwal was troubled by rampant corruption in the income tax department. In December 1999, while still in service with the income tax department, Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia and others founded a movement named Parivartan, a Delhi-based citizens movement which addressed grievances related to public distribution system, public works, social welfare schemes, income tax and electricity. In February 2006, Arvind Kejriwal resigned from his job to work full-time at Parivartan. In July 2006, he spearheaded an awareness campaign for right to information across India. Later that year, he was given the Ramon Magsaysay Award for Emergent Leadership for his involvement with Parivartan. The award recognized him for activating the right to information movement at the grassroots and empowering New Delhi's poor citizens to fight corruption. In the years that followed, he was to team up with anti-corruption crusader Anna Hazare. And the focus of that period of his public life was a single point demand, that a Lokpal bill be passed by Parliament.
ये जनता का आंदोलन है। जनता ने इस आंदोलन में निर्णय लिए, जनता ने इस आंदोलन को दिशा दी।
By 2011, Kejriwal had zoomed into the public glare. he became the prickly thorn in the side of the polity, the consummate agitator, the relentless motivator who worked behind the scenes as Anna Hazare went on a much publicized fast to demand passage of the Jan Lokpal Bill. Soon protests spread across the country. A series of demonstrations in different parts of India called for the establishment of strong legislation and enforcement against deep-rooted corruption. In response to the campaign, the government's advisory body drafted a Lokpal bill. However, the UPA government National Advisory Council's bill was criticized by Kejriwal and other activists. Kejriwal said that it did not have enough power to take action against the Prime Minister and other allegedly corrupt office holders and the judiciary. Amid continuing protests, the government constituted a committee to draft a Jan Lokpal bill. Kejriwal was one of the civil society representative members of this committee. However, he alleged that India Against Corruption activists had an unequal position in the committee and the government appointees kept ignoring their recommendations. The UPA government argued that the activists could not be allowed to blackmail the elected representatives through protests. Kejriwal retorted that democratically elected representatives could not be allowed to function like dictators and asked for a public debate on the contentious issues. India Against Corruption activists intensified their protests and Anna Hazare organized a hunger strike.
हम लोग ये पूरा का पूरा आंदोलन व्यवस्था परिवर्तन के लिए चला रहे हैं, सत्ता परिवर्तन के लिए नहीं। ये आंदोलन राजनीतिक विकल्प देने के लिए है, सत्ता हथियाने के लिए नहीं है, बल्कि सत्ता के केंद्रीकरण को खत्म करके सारी की सारी सत्ता जनता के हाथ में सौंपने के लिए है ये आंदोलन।
As the movement began to lose steam over slow progressing talks with other political parties, Arvind Kejriwal decided to rejuvenate it through the political route. Towards the end of 2012, with apolitical means seemingly taking them nowhere, Kejriwal quit the fold to join the political mainstream by forming the Aam Aadmi Party.
आज इस मंच से हम ऐलान करना चाहते हैं कि हाँ, हम अब चुनाव लड़के दिखाएंगे आपको।
This action of Kejriwal meant that he and Anna Hazare had to part ways. The divorce between the two became final when in November 2012, Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party came into existence.
हम इस देश की राजनीति बदलने के लिए आए हैं। ये राजनीति जो पैसे की, अपराध की, भ्रष्टाचार की राजनीति हो गई, इसको बदलना चाहते हैं। और 2 अक्टूबर को जब हमने अनाउंस किया था, हमने कहा था इन लोगों ने हमें मजबूर किया है राजनीति में आने के लिए। ये लोग हमें चैलेंज करते रहे, चुनाव लड़के दिखाओ, चुनाव लड़के दिखाओ। अब इनको चुनाव लड़के दिखाएंगे और आज के बाद हम इन लोगों को चैन से नहीं बैठने देंगे।